If you are a content creator or you want to be a content creator, this video will completely change your life, as it did for me. Like, this is so simple that if you do it, it will completely change the way you make content, and it will just change the value of your content for everybody else. So I'm going to try to make this as simple and short as possible. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. So all content creation is you have information, right? But information, as we know, is everywhere. There's information in books, there's information in podcasts, there's information in YouTube videos, there's information everywhere. The world's full of information, articles, blogs, you can go on and on and on. Information is everywhere. But your job as a content creator is to take all this noise, all this information, whatever you're passionate about, whatever you're interested in, or whatever you just want to teach people about, or maybe you combine all of these, right? Your job as a content creator is to consume this information for the purpose of to whatever it is you want to learn about. So if there's something you want to learn about, that's why you're consuming the information, right? Because you're interested in it, you want to learn more about it. You consume that information, and your job is to then take all this noise, all this information, and to distill it like this, organize it, and distill it, okay, into points, into structured writing, and you take that and you create content. Now, I learned this, I got this from a podcast from Ali Abdaal, where Ali Abdaal and Dickie Bush did a podcast together. I recommend you guys go watch it after this video. But basically, he said, if you could sit down with yourself 2 years ago, if you had a chance to sit down with yourself 2 years ago, what would you tell yourself? Right? And so when you're creating content, think about that. Think about when you're creating content, is what you are creating, would it be valuable to yourself 2 years ago? If the answer is no, either don't make the video or make it better. If the answer is yes, then make the video. It's going to be valuable to other people. Because the whole point of content is you are somewhere ahead of somebody, whether it's 2 years or 5 years, you in some area are ahead of somebody. And if you don't know what area that is, ask yourself this question. If you were in a room full of, let's say, 100 people, and there was $1 million on the line, but you got to choose whatever the competition was, what would you choose as the competition? Whatever you chose, that's your area of like expertise. That's the area you know most about. So if you're like creating content, you don't know what to go in, I just gave you a pretty good idea of what to go in. And now your job is to, think about somebody who's 2 years behind you, or just think about your past self 2 years ago. What would you tell your past self 2 years ago? List out 10 things. 10 things you wish you could go back and tell yourself 2 years ago. 10 things that you learned over, it doesn't have to be 10 things. Just make a list of things that you have learned over the past 2 years, things that you wish you could go back and tell yourself 2 years ago, and then make another list of things that you want to learn in the future. And so all your job is as a content creator is to learn ideas, learn whatever it is you want to learn, your passion, your expertise, whatever, and distill those ideas to give to the people who are behind you. So that way the value they get is all your mistakes and lessons, right? So they save so much time. Again, this is like you talking to yourself 2 years ago, except for you can't go back in time and talk to yourself 2 years ago, but you can tell other people, right? And so that's what content creation is. And so that's what you do. You learn, you distill, you share, you repeat, and that's it. Okay, so there is my list. And one last thing I want to mention is just two more notes that I had gotten from this podcast is that 95% of content that you're watching is a waste of time. And in order to tell if it's a waste of time or not, just ask yourself these two questions. Number one, is this helping me create? If it is, then go create, right? Because don't just say, oh yeah, this will help me be a better creator, and you just mindlessly watch it. No, if you are consuming a piece of content and you're saying to yourself, yeah, this will help me be a better creator, it's gonna help me create, then take those ideas, distill them, and then go implement them. Go create. Don't just watch it and then watch another one, and watch another one, and watch another one, forget. Take the ideas and go implement them, right? And then rinse and repeat. And then number two, is this content helping me solve a problem that I have been stuck on? And I think it's very important to say like stuck on, because a lot of times we could say, yeah, this will help me solve a problem that we don't even really have, right? It might be a video like how to stop procrastinating, how to be more motivated, how to study better. Maybe you're not even like in college, right? How to study better. Like there's just so many productive like videos when you open YouTube that we just think like, oh yeah, this applies to me, or this will help me out in my life, and you can watch it and you feel like you're being productive. But if it's not a problem you've actually been like banging your head against the wall with, whether it's in business or relationships or just your day-to-day life, if it's not something you've been like really banging your head against the wall, you've been stuck on it and you really want to know how to get past it, then it's not something you've been stuck on. There's no reason, like, why do you need to go out and like consume content or research to get past this problem if it's not something you've been stuck on, right? It's not a barrier there for you. You only want to like do that if there's really a barrier there, and then you watch the content, you get some idea, it's like, oh, and then the door opens and you move ahead and you hit another barrier, and you're like, you're trying, you're hitting, you're like, I'm stuck, I really need help, I need to go and either read an article or watch a YouTube video, whatever it is. I mean, a simplified version of this is like when I'm editing, sometimes there'll be like an idea that I have for the video and I'm like, okay, I don't know how to like edit this kind of way. I have to go and research and research and research and watch videos. And finally I find that one dude who has the same problem as me, he shows a tutorial on it, that door opens, move ahead, right? Don't just consume content to consume because you feel like, oh, this is good, this is productive, right? Either take the ideas and implement them, or only watch if you're actually solving a problem that you've been stuck on, you've been banging your head against the wall.